welcome to Comic Station issue number 59 for February 12th, 2014. We're going to change up the order a little bit and talk about our statue first. This is Marvel Bushido statue from Kotobukiya. I can never pronounce that right, but I love their statues.
Yeah, everything they do is, pretty on point. I love that, this is obviously Sherlock in her anime, her scandalous outfit here, but she's looking amazing and looking like Sherlock. A lot of times with those anime interpretations, they take it really far away from the character, but there is no doubt that she is Sherlock in her XForce ninja outfit.
And the details are always amazing. Like, I love the eyes on her. They're blue and they're piercing. The sword has great detail on it. Koto, I'm just going to shorten it, always does an amazing job with their statues from their, I want to say, quote-unquote, lower end all the way up to their giant, just destroy your bank account ones. No matter what ones you get, they're always really, really well done.
And they're really nice people, too. Anytime we see them out at conventions, they're really welcoming. They love to talk about what they do, whether it's their sellers or artists. They're really great people. So, and certainly we can mention her curves, too, because she is extremely curvy. We like that.
Yeah, this outfit definitely brings that out.
Yes, but in a still very curvy, but maybe a little bit less scandalous outfit, we see her featured in this week's #1 X-Force, which I had the pleasure to read. This has a great cast of characters in it. It's got Cable, Psylocke, Marrow, who I'm so happy to see. Nice. She's one of my favorites.
I'm looking forward to reading
and there as well as Phantom X, so they were really neat cast of characters to put together. Story was kind of, straightforward. They're hunting down mutant kind. They're almost extinct, and these are the Black Ops team that is hired to protect mutant kind and get their stake back in the world. What really impressed me most about this comic was the art. I was blown away by every single panel is just as beautiful and just as detailed as the cover. There's, a lot of panels that are very indicative to movement and expression, even for the characters that are not being focused on or that are not talking. So I really, really enjoyed that. It was beautiful, beautiful to read this.
Yeah. My #1 this week is The Fuse. This is from Image Comics, and this is basically, it's a Russian colonial satellite kind of thing. It's a permanent satellite where people go up there to live, orbiting the Earth and everything, and it's the story, it opens up and a police officer is going up to the serve up there. You don't know why. You get the idea. His new partner even says there's only two people that come up here, the people that are running from something on Earth or the people that are running from something on Earth. So that's about it. So, and there's a little mystery of these, essentially the homeless, or somebody's killing some people, and there's a mystery. So this is a nice setup. It's an interesting idea so far. The only downside is I wasn't quite sold on the artwork. At first the artwork came off a little bit almost annoying, and then I got used to it, but I never quite fell in love with it.
Alright. Well, this next one I'm going to talk about, I've been waiting for this to come out for months and months.
Who would have guessed?
Yes, who would have guessed that I was going to review this and read this week? So, She-Hulk #1. The cover artwork is by Kevin Wada, who is one of my favorite artists right now. He does some really different things with our longtime favorite characters, so I was glad that he got this cover. Unfortunately, the artwork on the inside I'm not really crazy about. I know a lot of people were talking about the artwork on the inside and comparing it to the FF artwork, in that it kind of has that retro feel to it. However, I didn't feel like that this was tailored in the same way that the FF artwork was, and I felt that a lot of times...
It's a hard thing to pull off.
It was, yeah, I felt like it didn't come off that way. I felt like it just came off lazy, and I didn't like it at all. However, the story and the writing in it was definitely enough to save the day. Thank goodness. The writer, I think it's Sule is how you pronounce his name. He is actually an attorney as well. So he's able to write She-Hulk. I think he was a great choice to write this. He really is able to write She-Hulk in an engaging way and talk about things that are, lawyer-centric, and have it not be boring to a layperson like you or I, who that might not be our scene, or we might not have anything.
I absolutely love points of order and smacking the gavel. And yeah, love that.
But yeah, you're definitely seeing, you know, some influence, She-Hulk's personal life, the struggles of, you know, being a lawyer and being She-Hulk and being a lawyer. All of that stuff is jam-packed in here. It made a great first issue. It's great for anybody to read it, even if you are not into She-Hulk or, you know, even not into comics. It's something really anybody could pick up as a first issue and get interested in it and get into it. So
cool.
I am looking forward to more.
Yeah, who would have guessed? The next one we have, this could be a nice little tie-in to the movie that's coming out. This is Winter Soldier #1, and despite the name, despite the title, what you would think, it's really not centered on Winter Soldier. It has a little bit of a agent with Nick Fury as well in their younger days. This is not the Samuel Jackson Nick Fury, by the way. So Winter Soldier does play a part. He does come into it eventually, but it's more the story of these two secret agents from S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to infiltrate and stop Nazis, as usual, that have been captured by Hydra to build this device that's basically going to just make minerals for them, make gold, make adamantium, so forth. And their goal is to get the Nazis away from Hydra. But of course, Winter Soldier has his orders, so he does show up, and it's fun. It's an interesting spy book so far. I don't know how it's going to hold up. So that's going to be really the thing, is how can they hold up that whole spy motif going forward in the capacity that they have it right now, and without Winter Soldier. So far, he's not the main character.
Alright. This next one's this is a #3, so this is a little bit more of just a mention. And can anybody guess why I picked this up? Oh my god, because it's Gambit covered in cats. So I just kind of picked it up and felt
like that with the cats.
Yes, and felt that I had to read it. But it was nice. The thing that I can mention about this and say that I really enjoy about this storyline is the way that these characters that we've known, Psylocke and Gambit and a few others, are a little bit older. They're more mature. There's a lot of history there, and all of that kind of that tension and that kind of I don't want to say grittiness because I think we overuse that word, but
it's comics.
It's comics, but a lot of that comes out in this, and I think that they do it really well. And in this one, I really actually liked the artwork on the inside a lot better than the cover art.
Ooh, that's a good sign. And the last one, this is my mention. This is Thor: God of Thunder. This is actually #19, but it's #1 of the Last Days of Midgard. Well, the first arc was the story of gods and time, and the second story arc was death. It's more about Thor, and now this one is about Earth. And honestly, as you can tell from the title, The Last Days of Midgard doesn't sound too promising for Earth. And as 18 left off, Thor is coming back to Midgard after his great big adventures across time and space, and a little warped my mind. But coming back, and he's doing his environmental phase. This is him in his environmental, trying to help and save the Earth, stop some whaling, stuff like that. And Agent Solomon is the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who he's working with for this. And so it's really interesting. The artwork is really nice on here. I do like, actually, that they don't just stick to now. They do show future, where they go back to old Haggard, lost his eyes and arm, and Thor, with his daughters, and they revisit Midgard, and it's not how you would hope that things turn out. And, of course, at the end, you see a enemy that, just a shadow, everyone's going to know who it is. So I'm interested, not just because of I really like Thor, I really like what they've done here in the artwork, but also I like they're still splitting the time, and I like how they've been able to weave that so far.
Great. Let's see what Lito's got to say for this week.
Yeah, we got a lot of reviews coming up. For our first review this week, we actually have Mass Effect Foundation. This is a trade paperback volume #1, and as you could tell from being a volume, it does offer a wealth of backstory on characters for Mass Effect fans, but nothing is really explained for those who haven't been invested in the games before.
Also, the need for moral gray areas and complexity left a void for any optimism or hope, to the point that Lito said that it left him with a, quote, mean-spirited core.
Yeah, So, if you're a big fan of the Mass Effect, check it out. If you're not, maybe go play the games first to get the investment you need that you're not going to get out of this comic.
Go get invested.
Invest, yeah. Go invest. That's sound financial advice. Second comic we have is Sherlock Holmes and the Vampires of London. Kind of sounds as bad as the title would say. The best quote that I could find in Lito's review was, Sherlock Holmes and the Vampire of London is a Holmes story with all the Holmes elements drained out of it.
Alright, and then we have Twilight Zone number 2. Lito says that the main character in this was detestable and something that he did not enjoy, but might be what you're looking for if you're looking for a Twilight Zone story. If you guys remember, we did, I reviewed the number,
yes, you did.
Yeah, one of this last week, and I really enjoyed it, and I kind of liked the detestable character because I thought it was something that was very Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets his comeuppance, so it'll see how that turns out with Twilight Zone as it is. The next review we have is not from Lito. This one is from Rhys Egner. Now, many people on FrontTowardsGamer.com will recognize his name. He does a lot of our video game news. He does a lot of articles for us, so you'll see his name plastered everywhere. But after reading this comic, he wanted to share his opinion on this, which is kind of a shame because the first thing in his review that he mentions is it's kind of disappointing the amount of cultural references, some of them seemingly in poor taste, that mars the message of a character that happens to be Muslim, that defines her without stereotyping her. That was advertised when they first announced the title.
He also states that the art by Adrian Alphonse shows that he is a master of the fine art, creating realistically proportional and distinct character with the origin story with no heroes until the final pages.
What it means that Kamala is the new Miss Marvel still isn't clear. Really only gets it on the last page, and as you said, there's no other heroes until that scene. But hopefully the author and the storyline learns from the criticism that it's getting right now. And I still think that there's some potential in there, and some really good multinational, multicultural lessons to be learned.
So next we have, and this is back to Lito, correct?
Yep.
Yep. Lito did Think Tank number 12. Think Tank is one of the points that makes Image Comics deserve to be mentioned alongside of the bigger publishers.
A non-fiction science fiction, don't worry, Lito explains that later in his review. It has excellent pacing and high stakes.
Issue number 12 is the conclusion of the ongoing series of the books of the author's words.
It's his own author's words. For the artwork, it really has improved, and you can see that if you go and read from issue 1 to 12. The artwork has improved and really started to embody the storyline. And while the story manages to deliver a chilling and engaging political thriller full of gene-targeting viruses and mid-air robot combat, somehow still grounded in front lines of reality.
Alright.
Lots of good reviews on here, and we didn't even cover them all, so go check them all out on FrontTowardsGamer.com /comics. And as always, thank you for joining us and seeing the Psylocke statue. And
yeah,
next week,
next week I'll be gone, but Teeny will be here, so don't miss me too much, guys.
Try not to, and unfortunately you'll have to bear with me still being here. So, thank you very much, and we will see you next week. Bye.